Hey guys, so it's been a while since I posted a real video. I posted a lot of BlackBerry videos. And nice to see you guys like them so much. I love the BlackBerry, so I really like it to see all the activity that's coming back from these devices. So that's awesome. I hope we get a new device made. If not, I'm good hacking the old ones. But I thought I'd just kind of walk through a little bit about my dev process and some of the changes that I'm working on. I've got a new app store coming that I'm pretty focused on. But we're living in a crazy world, and there's lots of new technology coming out, and so I'm excited. It's cool to see. I started using like a AI powered IDE, like Cursor, on some of the development of this, and so it's pretty wild, like what's possible. It's just it saves me so much time. So I thought I'd dig into it and walk you through a little bit of my dev flow of how I'm able to build apps for BlackBerry 10 in, using term 49, obviously, in 2025 and some of the limitations I see and some of the big wins that I see. So I made a video about me writing a short Python app for my device a long time ago, 6 months ago, and it was good. It shows you how I do it, and like I'm using Python as a base stack, but technically I don't need to. So one of the biggest tricks or things that you got to get figured out if you're going to develop for an old phone like this is you got to get that tool chain online. And that's really important because the device is a QNX device. I think it's like QNX 8. And so when you open up term 49, it gives you access to that shell. And you can do, a lot of different things with that. And so for me, like once I have it open to the shell, and it's inside term 49, I start building or compiling software that I need for it. So, for example, I had the X11 system, and it wasn't compiled for QNX, but I was able to compile X11 through the tool chain and then run, a shell-based program that started up the X11 client and then connected to the X11 server and then ran, Doom on the BlackBerry device, and that was really, really slick. Um, and that's the kind of development I can do. So a lot of like CLI-based applications, I can build quite a few. But how am I doing this? So I'll just walk through it really quick. So right now I've got a Docker container running. I just started it up. So I'm going to start that up, and then I'm going to go Docker. Uh, sorry, I forgot to put the slash bin bash because I was talking. All right, so this is my tool chain, and this is where it has all the configurations and all the stuff, and it's heavy. It's a big I mean, this container is massive now. I think it's like 55 gigs. It's using up a lot of space. I made some mistakes, and now I'm trying to like cut it up so I can distribute it a little bit and update it. But it has GCC 9, and with GCC 9, I can like compile a lot more software, or I can attempt to and then try and work through the bugs. But one of the things that's kind of neat is I have SSH running to this container, and so I'm gonna start that up, and then I'm gonna share. So I'll stop sharing here, and I'll share Cursor. So I'm using Cursor as I switched from Cursor to from VS Code lately to Cursor, and it's just like we're on a paradigm shift here that I'm going to talk a lot about. As a software engineer, as a dev for the last 15 years, I can't I can't believe it. Like people talk about vibe coding and they're like, oh, I hit the vibe, I built something app. I'm like, yeah, that's cool. You figured that out. I want to help you guys do that. I've got some ideas that help it. But like if I engineer the context on an application and then hit enter, it's like boom, that whole application, I one shot it with a prompt. It's mind blowing, actually. It's absolutely mind blowing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you my cursor. So we'll go share portion of screen here. We'll get cursor in the window, and we are going to directly connect to my BB10 tool chain. So I've configured SSH. Um, my Docker container is running. I'm going to SSH into my Docker container with the tool chain, and we're going to give it a whirl. So I think I've got, is this the one? TikTok. Come on. Okay, let me just figure this out. I'll share in a second. Which one is it? Android toolchain. Oh, I think it's just BB10 Docker toolchain. I think that's the one. And are we in? Yep. Okay, it's loading up. Good. So, what did I do here? Just so you guys understand. I SSH to my container, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the root directory, I think, on this. That's where all my stuff is. And so if you've used like VS Code and these tools in the past, this is like your workspace. And so what I'm doing is I'm opening up like a shell to my containers workspace with kind of everything that's here. And so there's a lot of stuff in here that I've compiled and worked on. So I'll just open up an integrated terminal because you guys have probably seen me, working on Linux and all this other stuff. And so I'm going to go into home. I'm going to go into there, and there's all the directories. So the same directories that are here are there. And so I have lots of QNX stuff. Um, but here's the crazy part is that I have engineered what I'm calling a .md file, a context.md. So .md is .markdown. But for my BB10 tool chain, I have built a text file. It should be a .md file. That's what I'm using now, but text file will work. Let's pull that text file open. And where is it here? Tool chain, TTT, there it is. Okay, and this document is kind of like, okay, I'm going to prompt the AI with this is my tool chain, this is my compiler, this is the target platform, this is what I'm going to do. Here, like it tells it everything to do because one of the things that I wanted was to like rapidly start developing something new for QNX like every day, basically. And so I prompt the AI with this like context document and that gives me the ability to like fast track development very quickly because AI is like, oh, boom, there's my tool chain. And what do you want to make? So for example, let's look at Dillo. Where are we here? Directory. Dillo. Dillo directory. And then let's scroll down and we'll go into, maybe that's not a good one. Sorry. pForth. Yeah, pForth. So I'm going to do this again so you guys can understand it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy paste this into the AI, okay, the toolchain.txt. And I'm going to say, hey, here is the context of my Docker container, a BB10 tool chain. I'd like to compile pForth for the QNX device. Can you make directory, make dir called pForth, 01, because I already have pForth compiled, but just an example. And I'm going to hit enter. And here's the crazy part is the AI takes over, it reads the context document, and then it starts saying, okay, make directories, and it's going to go through this whole thing. So we'll kind of watch and see what happens. Yep, that's all good. Let's proceed. So let's proceed. Run. Okay, so it CDs into p401. It's going to wget the files, which is all stuff I would have to do manually, and it's going to do that all for me, which is what makes this so sick. So unzip, run that command. So it's just moving the directory out, removing the directory it moved from, and then removing the zip that it downloaded. Let me fix the file extraction, cleanup. Okay, yes, that's good. It wants to see what else is in the directory. Okay, so it's scanning that. And now it's like, perfect. Let's set up cross compilation. So it's going to source the .env file, which it needs to kind of get all the system variables loaded. So I say, yeah, that makes sense. Do this. Um, and then it's going to continue on. So as it's doing its thing, I'm just going to chat a little bit about like, so I've been doing this for a long time, and one of the things that I think the vibe coding realm is struggling with is there's a couple things. Like fundamentals is really important. Like saying, hey, I want to use a JSON database here, SQLite database here. I want Python here, or Node here, or this is going to be, Rust, or that's going to be C. Fundamentals of programming are more important now than ever because it's how you engineer, you know, the context that allows you to one-shot prompt an entire web app. And I will show you guys how to do that in other videos. And it's crazy. Like with one engineered context document, I can sit there and one shot an entire app. And I will show you this. I'm not just saying this. But what it's doing right now is it's compiling, it's building the make file for pForth. It's creating the make file that's going to allow the compilation of pForth to run on the BlackBerry device. And pForth is one of my friends there on Telegram. It's just an old, kind of a unique programming languages. Very interesting. It's kind of like a calculator type programming language. I thought it was cool, so I compiled it for him because I have the tool chain set up and I have the context all set up, so it doesn't take me that much time anymore, which is legit. It was just crazy. A year and a half ago, the amount of hours I was working to compile one thing to where we are now is just, it's just like, what the heck? Big software, watch out, because this is going to be mainstream soon, I think. And it's one thing I noticed is there's a lot of devs that are like, we're like, yeah, but AI makes mistakes or whatever else. And I'm like, no, no. AI makes mistakes if you are standing in the way. AI is not going to do its own scaffolding. Okay. That's what the context documents are for. It can't scaffold itself yet. That's why I had to engineer these docs to be able to execute. But if there's a mistake, it's either not getting the right data, you're not you don't have the experience on the fundamental side or whatever, but it does a hell of a job. Like for real. Con Compared to what I used to do, it was like night and day. So anyways, it's asking me to do all this thing. So this is great. So it tried to run the make file and it reached an error. This is amazing. I don't have to read this code. It'll fix the errors. It'll say, okay, make clean. Let's retry it again. It fails again. I need to fix this. It's gonna go fix that. I say run. It's still recognizing the error, and I'll just let it work out the errors and just hit accept. If I see something that doesn't make sense to me, I might stop and inquire, but generally I know exactly what it's doing and why. It's kind of fast tracking what I would normally have done manually. And I might need to step in and give it some assistance here in a second. It looks like it's doing okay though. Okay, yeah, now we're on to the compilation stage. So, so that's it. Like, here's this old school BlackBerry device. Software's outdated. It's running QNX, and I just compiled software for it, modern software. I mean, well, I think pForth is a relatively kind of a new thing based on an older language. Um, and I opened up Cursor. I grabbed the context document on my tool chain. I fired it up, said boom, go done. It wrote all the C code, it wrote all the make file for me. I did boom, I hit enter, it's done. Now I don't know about you guys, but if you can see the power of this now on scale, like people say, oh, we need a new BlackBerry device. All we need is a hardware manufacturer and a good kernel to work with, which QNX is a great kernel, but you could technically deploy anything. And so I've taken this procedure or this like process, and now I'm like, okay, so context engineering, infrastructure. So people need to understand SSH, like all the protocols that run the internet. You need to understand them well, and you need infrastructure, and then you need context, and boom, you can make whatever you want. And so it's an exciting time. I mean, I can't get over this. I think this is amazing because it's like The same thing I can do with Android, and I'll do that in a separate video. But I have an Android tool chain. I SSH with cursor to my Docker container that has the Android tool chain. I want an Android app. It materializes. I'm not having to write all the stuff I used to write. I'm just getting better at removing myself in the right ways from the process, right? You need control. Like I need to know Docker. I need to have Docker on the go. I need to understand the infrastructure side of it to make this kind of stuff easy. But once you do, it's you're online and it's good. So that's pForth. What it did is it compiled the binary file, the executable file, and it put it in a directory. Now all I have to do is move that to my BlackBerry and run pForth, and it will run. Now inside my, how I got Linux working for the BB10 device. If you've been following my channel, was again, it was a compilation. I had to compile it using my tool chain. Mini dash RV32 or RSIC V32 was the format, and then I compiled, the executable for to run on the QNX, and then boom, I have Linux functionality in my BlackBerry, which is pretty neat. But yeah, a lot of these things like QNX Doom, Quen, I couldn't believe this actually worked. It's crashing at the inference section, but I almost have it working where like it generates tokens. Like you ask a prompt, it'll do it, but it's slow. I mean, the device is old, but it does it. So I thought, well, maybe I can make like a streamlined version of it for it. And so I think I might be able to execute on that. But anyways, exciting times. I wanted to share this video. There's lots more videos like this coming because I realize that I think people need somebody. I think this is good content, and it also, if it interests you, it creates good conversation. Like, what is the future of development? Heck, what's the future of everything if all I have to do is engineer, 1,000 line context document and have the AI interpret the context and go do it? Like, it's wild. So, hope you enjoyed it. Talk soon. Thanks for watching.